Alarms blared throughout the Nakdong research station. Red lights flashed in the corridors as scientists and crew rushed to their stations. The massive space facility, orbiting Neptune's moon Triton, rarely saw this level of emergency. Dr. Han. June ran down the hallway toward the command center, his heart racing. As the station's chief xenobiologist, any unusual discovery meant he would be called upon. And this was very unusual. "What's happening?" Han asked as he burst into the command center station director. Oh-Jin looked up from the main display. His normally calm face showed concern. "We've detected an alien vessel," Director O said, pointing to the screen. "It entered the solar system 3 hours ago and is now drifting near Triton's orbit." Han stared at the image. The ship was unlike any he had seen before. Its design was sleek but damaged, with what looked like scorch marks across its hull. "Have you made contact?" Han asked. "We've tried," replied Communications Officer Song. "No response on any frequency." Director O turned to Han. "We need someone to board that vessel and check for survivors. The alien ambassadors on Earth are demanding information. Since first contact 5 years ago, humans had learned they were far from alone in the galaxy. 5 different alien species had established embassies on Earth, but those aliens had come in peace with proper protocols. This damaged, silent ship was something else entirely. "I'll go," Han said without hesitation. "That's dangerous," said Dr. Kim Soo, the station's medical officer. She had just entered the room, her dark eyes showing worry. "We have no idea what's on that ship." "That's exactly why I should go," Han replied. "If there are injured aliens, we need someone who understands xenobiology." Director O nodded slowly. "Take a security team with you and wear full protection suits." 2 hours later, Han floated toward the alien vessel in a small shuttle. With him were 3 security officers, all wearing sealed environmental suits. The alien ship grew larger in the viewport, its strange design becoming clearer. "Look at the damage," said Security Chief Park as they approached. "Something attacked this ship." The shuttle docked with the alien vessel. Han checked his equipment one last time before they entered. His suit contained air for 6 hours and a translator device programmed with all known alien languages. "Remember," Han told the security team, "we are here to help survivors, not to cause more harm." They moved carefully into the ship. The interior was dark, with only emergency lighting still working. The air was thin but breathable according to Han's instruments. "Life support is failing," Han noted. "If anyone is alive, they don't have much time." The team moved deeper into the ship. They found the first body in what appeared to be a control room. The alien was humanoid but with bluish skin and 4 arms. It lay motionless at a control panel. "Dead," Han confirmed after scanning it. "Has been for at least 2 days." They found 5 more bodies as they searched the ship. All were of the same species, a race humans had never encountered before. "This is strange," Han said as they examined the ship's logs. "According to these records, this is a research vessel from the Heliodan Alliance, but the damage doesn't match any known weapon." "Look at this," said one of the security officers, pointing to deep claw marks on a wall. "Something tore through solid metal." Han felt a chill run down his spine. "Let's check the rest of the ship." They found the answer in the lower level. A massive containment chamber had been built there, but now it stood empty. The thick walls were bent outward as if something had broken free. "They were transporting something," Han said, examining the chamber. "Something big and strong. And now it's loose on the ship," Chief Park added, his hand moving to his weapon. Han studied the control panel of the chamber. "Wait," he said, excitement mixing with fear. "Look at this." The panel showed readings for a stasis field. It was still active in a small section of the ship, a section they hadn't explored yet. Whatever they were transporting, it might still be contained in that stasis field, Han explained. "But the field is failing. We have maybe an hour before it collapses." Chief Park shook his head. "We should return to the station and report this. Let them send a proper containment team." "There's no time," Han argued. "If the stasis field fails while we're gone, whatever is in there could die, or escape." After a brief argument, the team moved toward the active stasis field. They found it in what looked like a secure storage area. The field glowed with a soft, blue light, and inside, "By all the stars," gasped one of the officers. Inside the field was a creature unlike anything Han had ever seen. It stood at least 9 feet tall, with dark blue skin that had a metallic sheen. It had 4 powerful arms ending in clawed hands and 2 thick legs. A ridge of short spines ran from its head down its back. The creature was motionless in the stasis field, but even frozen it radiated danger. "What is it?" Chief Park asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Han checked his database. Nothing in our records must be from beyond human explored space. A sudden alarm from Han's equipment made everyone jump. "The stasis field is failing faster than I thought. We have minutes, not hours. We need to leave," Chief Park said firmly. "Now." Han looked at the creature again. Despite the danger it clearly posed, he felt a scientist's curiosity. More than that, he felt a strange connection to this lost being, trapped and alone. "We can't just leave it to die," Han said. "Those claw marks we saw?" "It killed the crew," Chief Park argued. "We don't know that," Han replied. "Maybe it was defending itself. Maybe they were experimenting on it." He made a quick decision. "I'm taking it back to the station. Station protocol says to terminate unknown dangerous life forms," one officer reminded him. "It also says to preserve unique specimens whenever possible," Han countered. "This could be the only one of its kind we ever encounter." After heated debate, Han got his way. They carefully moved the failing stasis unit to their shuttle. The security team kept weapons trained on the container the entire time. As they flew back to the Nakdong station, Han studied the creature through the stasis field. Its eyes were closed, but he could see its chest rising and falling in slow breaths. "What are you?" he whispered. "Where did you come from?" The creature, of course, didn't answer. But as Han watched, he thought he saw its eyes move slightly behind, closed lids as if dreaming. Back at the station, Director O was furious. "You brought an unknown dangerous alien onto my station?" he demanded. "It's contained," Han assured him. "And look at these readings. Its brain activity is complex. This isn't just some animal. It's intelligent." Dr. Kim studied the creature from behind the safety glass of the quarantine lab. "The stasis field won't last much longer," she said. "We need to decide what to do with it." "I want to try to communicate with it when it wakes," Han said. "And if it tries to kill you?" Director O asked. Han looked again at the powerful creature in stasis. "Then I was wrong about it," he admitted. "But I don't think I am." Later that night, as the station prepared to transport the creature to Earth's lunar research facility, Han sat alone in the observation room. The mysterious alien floated in the temporary stasis tank, soon to be loaded onto the transport ship. "I'll go with it," Han told Dr. Kim when she came to check on him. "That's crazy," she said. "You don't know what it will do when it wakes up." "Exactly why someone should be there who saw it first," Han replied. "Someone who doesn't just see a monster." As Kim left, Han looked once more at the creature. In the dim light, he thought he saw its eyes open just slightly, revealing a flash of amber. Then they closed again as the creature drifted in artificial sleep. "Don't worry," Han said, softly. "I won't let them hurt you." The lunar research facility hummed with activity. Scientists rushed back and forth, their faces tense. In the center of the main lab, a large containment chamber held their newest arrival, the Kalgash. Dr. Han Jun stood before the glass wall, watching the creature's slow breathing. 4 days had passed since they brought it from the alien ship. The Kalgash remained in a deep sleep during the journey to Earth's moon. "You should go rest," said Dr. Kim Soo, stepping up beside Han. "The creature won't wake for hours." Han shook his head. "I want to be here when it does." "You mean when Tay does?" Kim said with a small smile. "You've named it already?" "Yes." It seemed right. Han didn't take his eyes off the sleeping form. Tay was about 9 feet tall with dark blue skin that had a metallic shine. 6 limbs, 4 arms, and 2 powerful legs were folded against the body. A ridge of short spines ran from the head down the back. The door slid open with a hiss. Commander Lee Hyun walked in, his face hard. "Dr. Han, I've reviewed your initial report. The Coalition Security Council wants this creature destroyed immediately." Han turned to face him. "Commander, we can't do that. This is a first contact situation." "First contact?" Commander Lee laughed without humor. "The data from the alien ship is clear. The Calgash killed that entire crew. 17 advanced beings dead because they thought they could contain it. We don't know what happened," Han argued. "Maybe they were cruel to it. Maybe—" An alarm cut through their conversation. Red lights flashed around the lab. "Status report," Commander Lee shouted. A technician's voice came through the speakers. "Sir, the creature's brain activity is spiking. It's waking up." Han rushed to the monitoring station. The screen showed rapidly changing numbers and patterns. "Everyone out except essential personnel," ordered Commander Lee. "Activate the backup containment fields." Kim touched Han's arm. "That includes you, Han. You're not security." "I'm staying," Han said firmly. "I brought it here. It's my responsibility." They watched as Tae's eyes opened. They were a striking amber color with vertical pupils that narrowed in the bright lab lights. The creature remained still for a moment, then suddenly moved with shocking speed. Tae leaped from the medical table, ripping through the restraints as if they were paper. The inner containment field sparked as the creature slammed against it. "Hold field stability," shouted Commander Lee. Tae roared, a sound that made the humans cover their ears. Then it began to systematically test the field, touching different points, watching how the energy reacted. "It's analyzing the containment field," whispered Kim. "That's not animal behavior." The creature's head snapped toward them, its amber eyes locked on the humans. Han felt a chill run through him. There was intelligence in that gaze, and fury. With a tremendous effort, Tae pushed against the field. Warning alarms sounded as the energy barrier wavered. "Prepare the backup containment measures," Commander Lee ordered. "If it breaks through, we'll have to use lethal force." Han stepped forward. "Wait, let me try something." "Are you insane?" Kim grabbed his arm. "That thing will tear you apart." "I don't think so," Han said. "Look at its movements. It's scared and angry, yes, but it's also curious. It's trying to understand its situation." Commander Lee shook his head. "Dr. Han, I respect your expertise, but this is too dangerous." "Just give me a chance," Han pleaded. 3 days. If I can't make progress by then, we'll follow your protocols." After a long moment, Commander Lee nodded. 3 days. But at the first sign of the containment field failing, we take action. For the next 2 days, Han spent every waking hour in the lab. He brought a chair close to the containment field and simply sat, sometimes reading aloud from books, sometimes just talking in a calm voice. Tae watched him constantly, pacing the perimeter of its cage. On the morning of the 3rd day, 3 alien diplomats arrived at the lunar facility. They had been sent by their governments after hearing rumors of the Calgash. "This is Diplomat Rowe, from the Vorn Confederation." Commander Lee introduced a tall, thin alien with silvery skin. "This is Ambassador Back of the Heliadan Alliance," he continued, gesturing to a short, stocky being with 4 eyes. "And this is Envoy Choi of the Quex domain," he finished, indicating a floating creature that resembled a large jellyfish. The 3 aliens insisted on seeing the Calgash immediately. When they entered the lab, their reactions were strong. "You keep it in such a simple containment?" gasped Diplomat Rowe. "On our worlds, Calgash specimens are held in maximum security vaults, 20 levels underground." "You should destroy it now," said Ambassador Back firmly. "Calgash are too dangerous to study." "Our records show 17 documented cases of Calgash escaping containment," added Envoy Choi. "Each resulted in multiple deaths." As they spoke, Tae became agitated, slamming against the containment field with renewed fury. The aliens backed away in fear. "Please lower your voices," Han said calmly. "I think you're upsetting her." "Her?" Ambassador Back blinked all 4 eyes. "You believe this is a female Calgash?" "Yes, based on the spinal ridge pattern," Han explained. He turned back to the containment field and spoke softly. "It's all right, Tae. They're just visitors. To everyone's shock, the creature stopped its violent movements. It tilted its head, studying Han. "Impossible," whispered Diplomat Rowe. "It understands you?" "Not my words exactly," Han said. "But my tone, my body language. I've been coming here every day just sitting, showing I'm not a threat." Slowly, carefully, Han moved his chair closer to the field. Tay watched him, but didn't react aggressively. "Our species have misunderstood each other," Han said to the aliens. "We see Calgash as mindless killers, but look at her eyes. There's intelligence there." The three diplomats exchanged glances. "No one has ever reported successful communication with a Calgash," said Envoy Choi. "Perhaps no one truly tried," Han suggested. That evening after the aliens left, Han stayed late in the lab. He was reading aloud from a book when he noticed something new. Tay had settled on the floor of her containment area, mirroring his sitting position. When he turned a page, she made a similar motion with her hand. "You're mimicking me," Han said softly. "You're learning." The door opened and Kim entered with a food tray. "Han, you need to eat something." As Kim approached, Tay suddenly leaped up with a growl. Both humans froze. "Stay calm," Han whispered. "Don't make sudden moves." Kim carefully set down the tray and backed away. "I told you this was dangerous." But Han was watching Tay closely. The creature wasn't looking at Kim with hunger or pure aggression. There was something more, protective in her posture. "She's not trying to attack us," Han realized. "She's warning us away from what she sees as her territory. And..." He hesitated, hardly believing his own thoughts. "I think she's trying to protect me." "Protect you?" "That's ridiculous," Kim said. But her voice had uncertainty in it. Han stood slowly. "I'm going to try something. Be ready to activate the emergency protocols." He walked to the control panel and lowered the containment field's strength by 5%. Not enough for Tay to break through, but enough that she would feel the difference. Tay immediately noticed the change. She approached the weakened barrier carefully, her amber eyes fixed on Han. Everyone in the room held their breath. Then, slowly, deliberately, Tay placed one of her 4 hands against the field. Instead of pushing or testing for weakness, she simply held it there, palm open. Han stepped forward and placed his much smaller human hand opposite hers, separated only by the energy field. "Hello, Tay," he said quietly. "I think we're going to understand each other after all." 2 weeks had passed since Tay first placed her hand against the energy field. During this time, Dr. Han Jun spent every day with the Calgash. He slept on a cot in the corner of the lab, ate his meals while sitting near her containment area, and talked to her constantly. "You're going to make yourself sick," Dr. Kim Soo said, bringing him fresh coffee one morning. "When was the last time you left this room?" Han looked up from his notes. Dark circles hung under his eyes. "I can't leave now. We're making progress." Kim looked at Tay, who sat quietly watching them. The creature no longer threw herself against the energy field or roared at visitors. Instead, she observed everything with those intelligent amber eyes. "I've called for help," Han said, sipping the coffee. "Dr. Park Min arrives today. She's the best xenolinguist on Earth." "You really think you can talk to it?" Kim asked. "Her," Han corrected. "And yes, I do. Watch this." Han stood and raised his right hand. Tay immediately mimicked the gesture with one of her upper limbs. Han made a circle motion and Tay copied it perfectly. "Basic mimicry doesn't mean understanding," Kim said, but her voice held wonder. "It's more than that." Han picked up a red ball and a blue cube from a table of objects. He held up the ball. "Ball," he said clearly. Then he held up the cube. "Cube." He placed both objects on the floor near the field. "Ball," he said again. Tay looked at the objects, then pointed to the red ball. "Amazing," Kim whispered. "Now watch this." Han pointed to himself. "Han," he said. Then he pointed to Kim. "Kim." He waited. Tay watched him, then slowly extended one of her clawed hands. She pointed to Han and made a soft clicking sound. Then she pointed to Kim and made a different sound. She's naming us, Han said, his face bright with excitement. In her language. The lab door slid open, and Commander Lee entered with a short woman whose black hair was streaked with gray. Dr. Han, this is Dr. Park Min, Commander Lee said. Park Min stepped forward, her eyes immediately fixed on Tay. Extraordinary, she breathed. For the next several days, Dr. Park and Dr. Han worked together to build a communication system. They created a computer program that could translate simple concepts between human language and the series of clicks, rumbles, and body motions that Tay used. The key was realizing that her body language is as important as her vocalizations, Park explained to Kim one evening. They watched as Han sat cross-legged before the containment field, mirroring Tai's posture. Her species communicates as much with posture as with sound. On the 7th day of their work, the alien diplomats returned. They stood in shocked silence as they watched Han and Tai communicate through the translation system. Han touched the AI screen before him. We're home, the computer asked in simple terms. Tay made a series of clicks and raised her upper limbs in a specific pattern. The computer translated, far stars, many suns away. How come here? Han asked through the system. Tay's response came slowly, the computer struggling to translate the complex motion and sounds. Taken. Small ship find me. I alone. Family gone in great fight. She's saying she was separated from her pack during some kind of conflict, Han explained to the others. The alien ship we found her on wasn't her attackers, they found her afterward. This is impossible, Diplomat Rowe of the Vorn said, his silver skin reflecting the lab lights. Kalgash are predators, killers. They cannot reason like this. Han turned to face the aliens. Maybe you never gave them a chance to show you otherwise. Ambassador Back stepped forward, all 4 eyes blinking rapidly. But they've attacked our settlements for centuries. They raid our outposts, kill our people. Han looked thoughtful. He turned back to the communication system. Why Kalgash hurt other species? He typed. Tay's answer made everyone in the room go still. You take our young. You come to our worlds. You fear, so you attack first. Ask her about the ship crew, Commander Lee said quietly. Ask her why they died. Han hesitated, then entered the question. Tay's movements became agitated, her spines rising along her back. They pain me, the translation read. Put things in body, take blood. I escape when ship breaks. They try to catch me again. I defend. She was defending herself, Han said softly. They were experimenting on her. The 3 alien diplomats looked at each other uncomfortably. How can we be sure this translation is accurate? Ambassador Back demanded. Perhaps you are seeing what you want to see, human. Dr. Park Min stepped forward. The translation system is basic but sound. I've checked it repeatedly. But how can a human succeed where our species have failed for centuries? Envoy Choi asked, his jellyfish-like body pulsing with blue light. Our technology is far more advanced. Han looked at Tay, who watched them all calmly now. Maybe it's not about technology, he said. Maybe it's about approach. Humans evolved alongside predators on Earth. We learned to respect them, not just fear them. And sometimes, Kim added, we learned to work with them. Our ancestors domesticated wolves, turning them into dogs that became our companions. A companion? Relationship with a Kalgash? Diplomat Rowe sounded shocked. Impossible. As they spoke, Tay made a series of motions. The computer translated her words. Human not afraid like others. Human sees me, not just monster. Han smiled and typed back. Not monster. Person. The room fell silent as everyone watched this exchange. After a moment, Commander Lee cleared his throat. Dr. Han, the Security Council wants to know your recommendation. Now that we can communicate, what should Earth's official position be? Han looked at Tay. I believe we should work toward a peace treaty with the Kalgash species. Tay can help us find her homeworld and establish contact. But they're dangerous, protested Ambassador Back. So are humans, Han replied simply. Any species can be dangerous when threatened or misunderstood. Later that night, after everyone else had left, Han sat alone with Tai. The translation system was turned off, but they didn't need it anymore for simple exchanges. Han pointed to himself. Friend, he said clearly. Tai tilted her head, studying him. Then she made the clicking sound she used for his name, followed by a new sound, a soft rumble deep in her chest. What does that mean? Han asked, knowing she wouldn't understand his exact words. Tai reached out to the energy field again. This time she pressed all 4 of her hands against it. Her amber eyes held his gaze. Han understood without translation. Whatever word she had just used, it meant more than friend. It meant trust. Tomorrow, Han said softly, I'm going to ask them to lower this field. No more barriers between us. Tai didn't understand his words, but somehow she understood his meaning. She lowered her head in what looked remarkably like a nod. For the first time since humans had recorded knowledge of the feared Kalgash, one of these apex predators was not trying to escape or attack. Instead, she was waiting patiently, trusting. A small, fragile human who had dared to see her not as a monster but as a person. News traveled fast across the stars. 1 month after Dr. Han Jun had first communicated with Tai, Earth's lunar base became the center of attention for the entire galaxy. 17 spacefaring civilizations sent representatives to witness what many still believed impossible: a human and a Kalgash working together. The main conference room of the lunar base had been expanded to accommodate the visitors. Long tables formed a circle, with each alien species sitting at their own section. Humans, as the hosts, occupied the largest area. I've never seen so many different aliens in one place, Dr. Kim Soo whispered to Han. Look at them all. The room was filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. Some floated in the air, others needed special chairs to support their unusual bodies. Some breathed through machines as Earth's atmosphere was not suitable for them. Commander Lee stood to address the crowd. Welcome to Earth's Lunar Research Facility. We are honored to host this historic gathering. Behind Han stood Tai. The energy field was gone now. Instead, Tai wore only a simple translator device around her neck, which Dr. Park had designed to make communication easier. The alien representatives watched the Kalgash nervously, many keeping their distance. As you can see, Commander Lee continued, we have achieved peaceful communication with the Kalgash known as Tai. Dr. Han Jun will now demonstrate this achievement. Han stepped forward with Tai beside him. Some of the aliens gasped as the massive predator moved freely. Greetings, Han said to the assembly. Tai has agreed to answer your questions today. A tall, plant-like alien rose from its seat. How can we be certain this creature is truly communicating and not simply trained to perform? Tai's translator activated as she made a series of clicks and growls. I am not a pet, came the mechanical voice. I speak for myself. The plant alien sat down quickly, its leaves rustling with surprise. Another representative, a small being, with metallic skin, stood next. Our records show Kalgash raid our outposts and kill without reason. How do you explain this? Tai tilted her head, a gesture she had learned from Han. Some hunt, some defend. Not all Kalgash same. Like not all your kind same. A fair point, Han added. On Earth, we have peaceful nations and warlike nations. Why would the Kalgash be any different? For the next hour, Tai answered questions with growing confidence. The translator device wasn't perfect, but it conveyed her meaning well enough. Han stood proudly beside her, occasionally helping to clarify complex ideas. During a short break, Diplomat Rowe of the Vorn approached Han. Impressive work, human, the silver-skinned alien said. But dangerous. Some in the galaxy are troubled by this development. Troubled? Han asked. Why? This is a chance for peace. Rowe glanced around before speaking softly. Not everyone wants peace with the Kalgash. Some profit from fear. Before Han could ask more, the meeting resumed. A blue-scaled alien was speaking angrily. This changes nothing. The Calgash have raided our colonies for generations. One tame specimen doesn't change what they are. Killers. Tay stood to her full height, nearly touching the ceiling. The aliens went silent, many reaching for weapons. Not tame, Tay's translator spoke. Free. Choose peace. Choose talk. Tay is right, Han said. She isn't tamed. She's made a choice to communicate rather than fight, and she wants to help us contact her people. Impossible, shouted Ambassador. Back. The Calgash homeworld is deep in uncharted space. They attack any ship that approaches. Because ships come with weapons, Tay responded. Come with peace. Receive peace. The debate grew heated. Some representatives supported the idea of a peace mission to the Calgash homeworld. Others demanded Tay be contained again, calling her presence dangerous. Han was about to speak when he noticed movement at the back of the room. A Vorn aide was slipping along the wall, a small device in his hand. The aide raised the device, pointing it at Tay. Look out, Han shouted, leaping forward. The aide fired. A beam of energy shot across the room. Without thinking, Han threw himself between Tay and the weapon. The beam hit him square in the chest, throwing him backward. Chaos erupted. Security officers rushed the attacker. Aliens scattered, some crying out in their native languages. Through the pain spreading across his chest, Han saw Tay react, but Tay didn't run. She didn't attack the crowd. Instead, to everyone's amazement, she gently lifted Han's injured body. With surprising care, her massive clawed hands cradled him like he was made of glass. Medical bay, Tay's translator said simply. The crowd parted as the massive predator carried the human through the doors, following signs to the medical center. Han drifted in and out of consciousness. He felt the steady motion of Tay's walking, heard voices raised in alarm as they passed. Then bright lights, and the smell of antiseptic as they reached the medical bay. Put him here, Dr. Kim's voice said. Han felt himself being gently placed on a bed. Stay with him, Tay's translator said. I will, Kim promised. Hours later, Han awoke to find both Kim and Tay still beside his bed. The energy weapon had caused severe burns across his chest, but the doctors had treated him quickly. What happened? Han asked weakly. The attacker was from a faction of the Vorn, Kim explained. They fear human Calgash cooperation. Commander Lee is interrogating him now. Han looked at Tay, who sat awkwardly in a corner of the room, her large body barely fitting in the human-sized space. You saved me, he said. Tay made a soft clicking sound that the translator didn't catch. She didn't need words. Her actions had spoken clearly enough. The door opened, and Commander Lee entered with Diplomat Rowe. Dr. Han, Lee said, how are you? Feeling? I'll live, Han replied. What's happening with the summit? Rowe stepped forward, his silver skin reflecting the medical bay lights. The attack has changed things. Many who doubted now believe. They saw what we saw. A Calgash protecting a human, not attacking when it had the chance. She, Han corrected weakly. Not it. Yes, Rowe nodded. She protected you, then carried you to safety. This is behavior no one has ever recorded from a Calgash. Commander Lee looked at Tay with new respect. The representatives have voted. They support your peace mission to the Calgash homeworld. Han smiled despite the pain. When do we leave? Not until you heal, Kim said firmly. Tay made a series of clicks and growls. The translator spoke. Wait for Han. Go together. Later that night, when the others had gone, Tay remained by Han's bed. The lunar base's lights had dimmed to simulate night. Why did you protect me? Han asked quietly. Tay's amber eyes studied him. Through the translator came simple words that meant everything. You saw me. I see you. We same. Han nodded, understanding. Across the vast gulf of evolution and stars, two different beings had recognized something in each other. Not just intelligence, but worth. The next day, representatives from all 17 species came to visit. They no longer kept their distance from Tay. They had witnessed something that changed everything they thought they knew about the feared apex predators of the galaxy. 6 months had passed since the assassination attempt. The Earth's flagship, the Harmony, stood ready in the launch bay of the lunar base. It was the largest and fastest ship humans had built, now modified for a special mission to journey to the Kalgash homeworld. Dr. Han Jun stood at the viewing window, watching the final preparations. His chest still bore the scars from the energy weapon, but he had healed well. Beside him stood Tame, her massive form drawing stares from passing crew members. "Are you nervous?" Han asked. Tae's translator device hummed as she responded. "Long time away from home. Not know if family still lives, yes, nervous." Han nodded. He understood. In the month since the Galactic Summit, Tae had learned to express more complex emotions through the improved translator Dr. Park had created. The device now picked up subtle body movements and tone variations that added depth to Tae's speech. "Doctor." "Han?" Commander Lee called, walking briskly toward them. "The departure ceremony begins in 1 hour. The representatives wish to speak with you both before you leave." In the main conference room, delegates from all 17 spacefaring civilizations had gathered. The mood was different from the summit months ago. Where there had been fear and suspicion, now there was cautious hope. Ambassador Cole of the Heliadan Confederation stepped forward. The stocky, four-eyed alien held a small box in his hands. "Dr. Han Jun of Earth," Cole said formally, "before you depart on this historic journey, the Galactic Council wishes to present you with the Star of Understanding." Cole opened the box. Inside lay a medal that glowed with its own inner light. "This is the highest honor my species can bestow," Cole explained. "In 10,000 years we have given it to only 12 individuals." Han bowed his head as Cole placed the medal around his neck. "Thank you, Ambassador, but the honor belongs to Tae as much as to me." Cole looked up at the towering Kalgash. "Indeed, and that is why we have something for her as well." Another delegate stepped forward, carrying a larger box. Inside was a beautifully crafted harness made of shimmering metal. "This contains our most advanced translation technology," explained the delegate. "It will help you communicate with not just us, but with your own people when you return home." Tae lowered her head to allow them to fit the new harness around her neck. When they finished, she straightened to her full height. "Thank you," her new translator said, the voice sounding more natural, less mechanical. "We'll help bring peace." Diplomat Roe of the Vorn approached next. His silver skin seemed dimmer than before, his posture showing shame. "On behalf of the Vorn Confederation, I officially apologize for the actions of our extremist faction," Roe said. "The attacker has been punished according to our laws." Han nodded his acceptance. "We don't hold all Vorn responsible for the actions of one." "That is precisely what we have failed to understand about the Kalgash," Roe admitted. "We judged an entire species by the actions of raiding parties." As the ceremony continued, Dr. Kim Soo joined Han by the window. They looked out at the Harmony waiting in the launch bay. "Are you sure about this?" Kim asked quietly. "The journey will take 3 months, and we know so little about the Kalgash homeworld." "I'm sure," Han said firmly. "This is too important not to try." "You could send others," Kim suggested. "Your wounds are still healing." Han shook his head. "Tae trusts me, and I trust her. We need to do this together." Later, as the final preparations were made, Han stood in his quarters, packing the last of his personal items. A knock on the door surprised him. "Come in," he called. Commander Lee entered holding a small device. "Dr. Han, this just arrived from Earth's Central Council. They asked me to give it to you privately." Han took the device and activated it. A hologram appeared showing a map of star systems. "What is this?" Han asked. "Intelligence gathered from various alien sources," Lee explained. "It shows all known Kalgash attacks over the past 50 years. Look at the pattern." Han studied the map. The attacks formed a clear circle around one region of space. "They're defensive," Han realized. "They're protecting their territory." Lee nodded. "And look at this." He touched the device and the map changed to show ship movements. These are research vessels and mining operations that entered that same space shortly before the attacks. They weren't random raids, Han said. The Kalgash were responding to intruders. Exactly. The Council thought you should know before you depart. Lee paused. They also asked me to give you this. He handed Han a small badge bearing Earth's symbol. You are now officially Earth's first ambassador to the Kalgash. Whatever agreement you reach with them will be honored by all Earth governments. 2. Hours later, Han stood at the entry ramp of the Harmony with Tay beside him. A crowd had gathered to see them off, including many of the alien representatives. Dr. Park Min approached them. The translator should work perfectly now, she said. I've programmed it with all we've learned about Kalgash communication patterns. Thank you, Han said, embracing her. For everything. As they prepared to board, Ambassador Cole stepped forward once more. Dr. Han, may I ask you something that has puzzled many of us? Of course, Han replied. How is it that humans, whose technology is centuries behind most species here, succeeded where we all failed? What special quality do you possess? Han thought, carefully before answering. Perhaps it's not what we have, but what we are. Humans evolved as both predator and prey on Earth. We hunted, but we were also hunted. It gave us a unique perspective. I don't understand, Cole said. We learned to recognize intelligence and emotion in eyes very different from our own, Han explained. We learned to respect creatures both weaker and stronger than ourselves. When I looked at Tay, I didn't just see a monster. I saw someone trying to survive just like me. Tay made a soft rumbling sound that her translator didn't catch. But Han understood. Some things went beyond words. As they boarded the ship, Tay walked beside Han, matching her huge strides to his smaller ones. The crew watched nervously as the massive predator moved through their ship, but Han showed no fear. From the bridge, they watched as the lunar base grew smaller behind them. The stars spread out before them, countless worlds waiting to be discovered. Are you ready? Han asked Tay. The Kalgash looked down at her human companion. Through the translator came words that would change the galaxy forever. Ready to show my people not all aliens enemies. Some are friends. Some are. She paused, searching for the right word. Family. In the control room, Captain Song Jin gave the order. Set course for the coordinates Tay provided, maximum speed. The Harmony surged forward, carrying a human and a Kalgash toward an uncertain welcome. But whatever waited for them at journey's end, they would face it together. As the ship accelerated toward the stars, Han thought about how far they had come. 6 months ago, Tay had been a prisoner, feared and misunderstood. Now she was a diplomat. Perhaps the key to peace between species that had feared each other for centuries. And it had all started because one human had dared to see beyond fear, to recognize a person where others saw only a monster. Sometimes, Han realized, the greatest courage wasn't facing death or danger. Sometimes the greatest courage was simply being willing to understand.